I'm 3 episodes deep into a drama I've already watched twice when someone starts pounding on my door. It's 11 p.m. on a Friday, and I'm in my oldest sweatpants with sauce stains on my shirt. Whoever this is better have a good reason for interrupting my pathetic excuse for a weekend. I swing open the door, ready to tell off whoever's disturbing me, and freeze. Kang Ji-hoon stands in my doorway, soaking wet from the rain, holding a crying baby. My ex-boyfriend. The man who vanished from my life 3 years ago without a single word of explanation. The man I spent months trying to forget and years pretending I had. Miho, he says, and God, even his voice is the same, tired, desperate, but still capable of making my chest tight. I know I have no right to be here, but... You're right. You don't. I start to close the door, but he steps forward. Miho, please. This is our son. The world tilts sideways. The baby in his arms can't be more than 6 months old, with a round face scrunched up in distress, tiny fists waving in the air. I look at Ji-hoon like he's lost his mind. What the hell are you talking about? Can I please come in? I'll explain everything, I swear. Just, please. Saiwoo hasn't stopped crying for an hour, and I don't know what to do anymore. Something in his voice, the raw exhaustion, the desperation, makes me step aside. I hate myself for it, but I do. Ji-hoon stumbles in, dripping water all over my hardwood floors, and I notice the dark circles under his eyes, the way his hands shake as he tries to soothe the baby. Start talking, I demand, crossing my arms. Now. Ji-hoon sinks onto my couch, still bouncing the crying baby, Saiwoo apparently, against his shoulder. Do you remember when we talked about having kids? Before everything fell apart. Vaguely. It's a lie. I remember every conversation we ever had about the future, about the family we'd build together. I remember all of it, which is why it hurt so much when he disappeared. You agreed to save a sample. At that fertility clinic in Gangnam. You said you wanted to be prepared for when we were ready. My stomach drops. I do remember that. We'd gone together, both of us giddy and terrified about planning a future that felt impossibly far away but also thrillingly close. You didn't, I whisper. I used a surrogate, Ji-hoon says, his voice cracking. With our genetic material. Yours and mine. I know I should have asked, I know I had no right, but I couldn't let go of what we had. Of what we could have been. The baby's cries pierce through my shock, and I notice how Ji-hoon's whole body is trembling now. He looks like he hasn't slept in weeks. The surrogate, he continues, struggling to speak over Saiwoo's wails, she passed away. 2 months ago. Complications from an undiagnosed heart condition. She left Saiwoo to me. I've been trying to manage alone, but I can't. I don't know how to. His voice breaks completely, and suddenly he's crying too, and I'm standing in my living room watching my ex-boyfriend fall apart while holding a baby that he claims is genetically mine. Against every instinct telling me to throw them both out, I cross the room and take the baby from Ji-hoon's arms. Saiwoo is warm and small and still screaming, but when I hold him against my chest and start swaying, some instinct I didn't know I had, he starts to quiet down. His cries fade to whimpers, then to little hiccuping breaths. How did you? Ji-hoon stares at me in disbelief. I look down at the baby in my arms and my heart stops. Even with his face red from crying, even with the tears on his cheeks, he has my eyes. The same shape, the same deep brown color. There's no mistaking it. Ji-hoon, what the hell did you do? My voice comes out strangled. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, Miho. I know I ruined everything between us. I know I have no right to show up here after 3 years and ask for anything. But he's your son. Biologically, legally, he's yours too. And I need help. Please. Ji-hoon slumps back on the couch and within seconds his eyes close. His breathing evens out. He's asleep just like that, like his body finally gave up the fight to stay conscious. I'm left standing there, holding a baby that might actually be mine, watching my ex-boyfriend sleep on my couch like the past 3 years never happened. Saiwoo makes a small sound and wraps his tiny hand around my finger. His grip is surprisingly strong. What am I supposed to do with you? I whisper to him. He just yawns and nuzzles closer to my chest. As I stand there, trying to process the fact that my entire life might have just changed in the span of 5 minutes, I notice something fall from Ji-hoon's bag onto the floor. An envelope, official-looking, with bold red letters visible even from here. I carefully shift Saiwoo into one arm and pick it up. Urgent, legal custody documents, is printed across the top. My blood runs cold. If Saiwoo is Ji-hoon's biological son, why would he need custody documents? Who's trying to take this baby away? I look at Ji-hoon, passed out from exhaustion, then at Saiwoo, who's finally peaceful in my arms, and realize with growing dread that whatever Ji-hoon came here for, it's not just about needing help with a baby. Something much bigger is happening and I'm already caught in the middle of it. Ji-hoon sleeps for 12 straight hours. I know because I don't sleep at all. I spend the night holding Saiwoo, feeding him bottles I find in Jihun's bag, changing diapers with shaking hands while watching YouTube tutorials on my phone. Every time I look at this baby, at his eyes that mirror mine, at the way his tiny fingers curl around my thumb, something in my chest cracks open a little more. By the time morning light filters through my windows, I'm exhausted, furious, and terrified. The custody documents sit on my kitchen counter like a bomb waiting to explode. Saiwoo is finally napping in a makeshift bed I created from couch cushions when Jihun stumbles into the kitchen. He looks marginally more human, though the dark circles under his eyes haven't faded. Miho, sit down. I slide the envelope across the counter toward him and start explaining. All of it. No more half-truths. His face goes pale when he sees the documents. He sinks into a chair, running his hands through his disheveled hair. How much did you read? Enough to know someone's trying to take Saiwoo away from you. Who, Jihun? Who's fighting you for custody? The silence stretches between us, heavy with 3 years of unanswered questions. When Jihun finally speaks, his voice is barely above a whisper. My family. Of course. His family. The Kangs with their old money and older prejudices. I should have guessed. They found out about Saiwoo 2 months ago, Jihun continues, his hands trembling around the coffee mug I've placed in front of him. Right after the surrogate passed away. They're claiming I'm unfit to raise him alone. That a single parent, especially their gay son who disgraced the family name, can't provide a stable home. That's insane. You can fight that. With what money, Miho? What resources? They have the best lawyers in Seoul. I've been drowning in legal fees just to keep temporary custody. The hearing is in 2 weeks and my lawyer says I'm going to lose unless. He stops and I see something shift in his expression. Fear. Guilt. Unless what? Unless I can prove I'm not alone. That Saiwoo has 2 parents who can provide a stable home. He finally meets my eyes and I see everything there, the desperation, the shame, the calculation. That's why I came to you. Not just because you're his biological father, but because if we both claim parental rights, if we show the court we can raise him together. You want me to lie to a judge? My voice comes out sharper than I intend and Saiwoo stirs in his sleep. No. I want you to claim what's rightfully yours. Miho, he's your son. Biologically, legally, you have every right to be his father. I should have told you when I made the decision. I should have. His voice breaks. I should have done so many things differently. Like not disappearing 3 years ago? The words explode out of me, all the hurt and anger I've buried finally surfacing. Like maybe explaining why the man I loved, the man I was planning a future with, just vanished one day without a word? Jihun flinches like I've struck him. Tears start streaming down his face. They threatened you, he whispers. My family. When they found out how serious we were getting, they said they'd destroy your career. Your reputation. They have connections everywhere, Miho, in your industry and every design firm in Seoul. They said they'd make sure you never worked again, that they'd spread rumors, plant evidence of plagiarism, whatever it took to ruin you. The air leaves my lungs. I didn't believe them at first, Jihun continues, sobbing now. But then things started happening. You lost that big contract with the hotel chain, remember? That wasn't a coincidence. That was them showing me what they could do. So I left. I thought if I just disappeared, if I cut all ties, they'd leave you alone. I sink into the chair across from him, my mind reeling. That hotel contract. I thought I lost it because of my pitch, because I wasn't good enough. I'd spent months doubting myself, rebuilding my portfolio, working twice as hard to prove my worth. You should have told me, I say, but the anger has drained out of my voice, replaced by something hollow. You should have let me decide. I know. God, Miho, I know. I made every wrong choice possible. But I was trying to protect you and instead I hurt us both. And then when I found out about the pregnancy, I thought maybe I could keep a piece of us, something my family couldn't take away. But I was wrong about that too. Saiwoo makes a small sound and we both turn to look at him. He's awake now, staring at us with those impossible eyes, my eyes, his expression serious like he's listening to every word. I walk over and pick him up. He immediately snuggles into my chest, and that cracking feeling in my heart splits wide open. If I do this, I say slowly, if I claim parental rights and we fight your family together, it's not for you. It's for him. Only for him. I understand. And you stay in the guest room. We present as co-parents, nothing more. Of course. And Jihun? I look at him, then really look at him. No more lies. No more secrets. For doing this, I need complete honesty. Can you promise me that? Yes, he says immediately. I promise. Complete honesty from now on. Relief floods his face as he nods, and we start making plans for the hearing, for how we'll present our case. That night, after Jihun has gone to bed, I hear his voice through the guest room door. He's on the phone with someone, speaking in hushed tones. Yes, I'm with Miho now. No, he doesn't know about the other condition. I'll tell him when the time is right. I stand frozen in the hallway. Sai was sleeping against my shoulder, and realize that Jihun is still keeping secrets. The question is, can I afford to walk away now, or am I already in too deep? I don't confront Jihun about the phone call. Not yet. Instead, I watch and wait, and in the meantime we fall into a routine that feels dangerously like the life we once planned together. Week 1. Jihun takes the 2 a.m. feeding while I handle the 5 a.m. one. We pass each other in the hallway like ghosts, exhausted and barely speaking. I work from home, designing logos and websites while Saiwu naps. Jihun job hunts and does laundry and tries to stay out of my way. Week 2, things shift. Jihun makes coffee exactly how I like it without asking. 3 sugars, extra cream. I pretend not to notice how he still remembers. We start eating dinner together because it's easier for scheduling. Saiwa laughs for the first time when Jihun makes a ridiculous face, and we both stop breathing for a moment, staring at our son in wonder. Our son. When did I start thinking of him that way? He has your smile, Jihun says softly, and when I look up, he's not watching Saiwa anymore. He's watching me. I look away first, my heart pounding. By the end of week 2, the walls I've carefully constructed are crumbling. It's the little things that destroy me, the way Jihun's hand brushes mine when we both reach for Saiwu, how he hums the same song he used to sing in the shower, the sound of his laughter when I tell him about a difficult client. We're playing house and it feels too real. Stop it, I tell myself as I lie in bed at night, listening to Jihun singing Saiwu back to sleep in the next room. Don't fall for him again. You can't trust him. But I'm already falling and I hate myself for it. 3 days before the custody hearing, our lawyer calls us into her office. Young Sora is sharp, efficient, and expensive. I'm paying her fees, something Jihun still doesn't know. She spreads documents across her desk with a grim expression. I need to be honest with you both, she says. The Kang family's legal team is strong. Very strong. They're painting a picture of instability, claiming Jihun has no steady employment and that you, Miho, are merely a convenient addition to strengthen the case. That's not true, I protest. I'm Saiwa's biological father. I have every right. Which they'll argue you showed no interest in until custody was threatened. Sora cuts me off gently. I'm not saying they're right. I'm saying this is what we're up against. Jihun has gone pale beside me. So what do we do? Sora hesitates and I see something flicker across her face. She slides another document toward us. There's a clause in their filing. I wasn't sure if I should mention it, but given how close we are to the hearing, she taps the paper. They've indicated they'd be willing to drop the custody case entirely if certain conditions are met. What conditions? I ask, though dread is already pooling in my stomach. If Jihun enters into a stable, documented romantic partnership. They believe a single parent is unfit, but a committed couple, even a same-sex couple ironically, would be acceptable enough to save face for the family. The silence in the office is deafening. I turn to Jihun slowly. Is this the other condition you were talking about on the phone? His eyes widen. You heard that? Answer the question. Yes, he whispers. But Miho, I wasn't trying to manipulate you into. Into what exactly? I stand up, my chair scraping against the floor. Into pretending we're together? Into faking a relationship so your family will back off? No. I mean, yes, that would solve the legal problem, but that's not why He stands too, reaching for me, but I step back. I came to you because you're Saiwa's father. The relationship thing I was going to tell you, I just needed to find the right time. The right time. I laugh bitterly. We have 3 days until the hearing, Jihun. When exactly was the right time? Sora clears her throat. Gentlemen, I understand this is emotional, but we need to make a decision. If you're willing to present as a couple, even just for legal purposes, it would significantly strengthen our case. I look at Jihun, really look at him. He's crying again, tears streaming down his face, and I see everything there, the guilt, the fear, the desperation. But I also see something else. Something that makes my chest ache. Tell me the truth, I say quietly. Right now. Is this just about winning custody? About finding a convenient solution to your legal problems? No. His voice breaks on the word. Miho, I never stopped loving you. Not for a single day in 3 years. I know I have no right to ask for anything after what I did, but I'm not asking you to pretend. I'm asking you to give me a chance, a real chance, to earn back what we had. The air feels too thick to breathe. Sora quietly excuses herself from the office, leaving us alone. You left me, I say, and I hate how my voice shakes. You made choices for both of us without asking. You created a child with my genetic material without my consent. And now you want me to just, what? Forget all of that because you say you love me? No. I want you to let me spend the rest of my life making it up to you. He takes a careful step closer. I want you to believe that I would do anything, sacrifice anything to keep you and Saiwu safe. What I want, I interrupt, is to know that I can trust you. Can I, Jihun? He meets my eyes and I see him make a choice. I don't know, he says honestly. I've made so many mistakes. But I swear to you, Miho, I will spend every day proving that you can. If you'll let me. I should say no. Every logical part of my brain is screaming at me to walk away. But then I think of Saiwu sleeping peacefully in his crib at home. I think of the family we could be, the family we're already becoming despite everything. I need time, I finally say. We have 3 days. I know. We stand there in the lawyer's office, the weight of an impossible decision hanging between us, and I realize something terrifying. I never stopped loving him either. The question is whether love is enough to rebuild what was broken. That night, I find Jihun's mother waiting at my door. Mr. Lee, she says coolly, I think we need to talk. Mrs. Kang stands in my doorway wearing a designer suit and an expression that could freeze fire. I consider slamming the door in her face, but Jihun is inside putting Saiwu to bed. The last thing I need is a scene. You have 5 minutes, I say, stepping outside and closing the door behind me. She doesn't waste time. Name your price, Mr. Lee. Whatever you want, money, career opportunities, connections. I'll give you anything if you disappear from their lives. I almost laugh. You think I can be bought? Everyone can be bought. It's just a matter of finding the right number. She pulls out a check already filled out except for the amount. You write it? Any number. Walk away and it's yours. I look at this woman who drove her son away, who's trying to take his child, who thinks love and family can be reduced to a transaction. And I feel nothing but pity. Go home, Mrs. Kang. 1 million. 2 million. Her composure cracks slightly. Mr. Lee, be reasonable. You've known that child for 2 weeks. Jihun destroyed your relationship once. He'll do it again. Take the money and spare yourself the heartbreak. Your 5 minutes are up. I turn to go back inside, but her words stop me cold. My son is weak. He always has been. He'll drag you down with him, and when my husband and I take custody of that baby, you'll have nothing. No child, no relationship, no compensation for your trouble. Take the money while you can. I look back at her. The only thing Jihun is guilty of is loving his son enough to come to the one person who could help him, despite knowing I had every reason to hate him. That's not weakness, Mrs. Kang. That's courage. Something I don't think you'd recognize. I go inside and lock the door, my hands shaking with rage. Through the window, I watch her stand there for a long moment before finally leaving. I don't tell Jihun about his mother's visit. Instead, I make a phone call. I need a rush paternity test, I tell the lab technician. Results by tomorrow morning. The custody hearing is in a sterile courthouse that smells like anxiety and floor polish. Jihun's parents sit on the opposite side with their team of lawyers, 3 of them, all looking predatory and expensive. Mrs. Kang's eyes bore into me with cold fury. Jihun is trembling beside me. I want to reach for his hand but don't. The Kang family's lead attorney stands, and for the next hour, I watch them systematically tear Jihun apart. Unstable employment history. No permanent residence. A history of lifestyle choices that suggest poor judgment. They make him sound like a disaster, carefully avoiding outright homophobia while letting it poison every word. Then they turn to me. Mr. Lee only appeared 2 weeks ago, conveniently when custody was threatened. This suggests opportunism rather than genuine parental interest. He has no established relationship with the child, no history of involvement in the pregnancy or birth. His sudden claims of fatherhood are, at best, suspicious. Sora objects, argues, but I can see the judge's expression. We're losing. When it's our turn, Sora presents our evidence. Photos of us caring for Saiwu, character witnesses, my financial stability. It's not enough. I can feel it slipping away. Then I stand up. Your Honor, may I speak? Sora looks panicked, but the judge nods. I pull out the paternity test results, rushed, certified, irrefutable, and submit them to the court. Kang Saiwu is my biological son. This test confirms it. I didn't know about his existence until 2 weeks ago because his other father was trying to protect me from the same people who are now trying to take my child away. Mrs. Kang's lawyer starts to object, but I keep going. 3 years ago, Jihun and I were planning a future together. We talked about children, about family. We both provided genetic material because we wanted to be prepared. Then Jihun disappeared from my life, and I didn't understand why until recently. I turned to look at Jihun's parents. His family threatened to destroy my career if he didn't end our relationship. They used their money and influence to manipulate and control him. And now they're doing the same thing to an innocent child. Your Honor, Mrs. Kang's lawyer interjects. This is speculation and hearsay. It's the truth, Ji-hun says, standing beside me. His voice is shaking but clear. They threatened Miho. They made me leave. And when they found out about Saiwoo, they tried to take him because they can't stand that I'm gay, that I'm happy, that I created a family despite everything they did to prevent it. I reach for his hand then. Our fingers intertwine and I feel him grip mine like a lifeline. Your Honor, I continue, the Kang family claims Ji-hun is unfit. But I've watched him sacrifice sleep, job opportunities, and his pride to keep his son safe. I've seen him be patient when Saiwoo cries all night, gentle when he's scared, loving even when he's exhausted. He came to me not because he needed my money or status. He came because he knew Saiwoo deserved two parents who would fight for him. I turned to Ji-hun and everything I've been holding back floods through me. I was angry. I felt betrayed. But these past 2 weeks have shown me who Ji-hun really is. Someone who makes mistakes but never stops trying to do better. Someone who loves his son more than anything. Our son. My voice cracks. I choose them, Your Honor. Both of them. Not because of custody laws or family pressure, because they're my family. And I'll spend the rest of my life protecting that. The courtroom is silent. The judge reviews the documents, looks at Ji-hun's parents, then at us. Petition for custody transfer is denied. Parental rights remain with Mr. Kang Ji-hun and are extended to Mr. Lee Miho. This case is closed. Outside the courthouse, Ji-hun pulls me into a desperate kiss. I kiss him back, tasting salt from both our tears. I'll spend the rest of my life making this up to you, he whispers against my lips. You'll spend the rest of your life raising our son with me, I correct him, touching my forehead to his. Everything else we'll figure out together. Together, he repeats, and it sounds like a promise. 6 months later, Saiwoo takes his first wobbly steps across our new apartment. The one we chose together, the one that's actually ours. He walks straight into my arms while Ji-hun captures it on video, laughing and crying at the same time. The ring on his finger catches the afternoon light, matching the one on mine. Again? Saiwoo demands in his tiny voice and we both laugh. Again, Ji-hun agrees, looking at me with so much love it still takes my breath away. I set Saiwoo down and watch him toddle back toward Ji-hun, our son moving between his two fathers like it's the most natural thing in the world. Maybe it is. Maybe we were always meant to find our way back to each other, just took a baby and a custody battle to make it happen. I love you, Ji-hun mouths over Saiwoo's head. I know, I mouth back, and this time I really do.